I know it sounds obvious, but when it comes to individual learner needs, I didn't write that down. When it comes to individual learner needs, no two people are the same. Have any of you had that experience where you go to the cinema with a friend, you love the film, and they absolutely hate it? I've had it the other way around too. Different things appeal, but being more specific, no two people learn the same way. We have the VARC system that teaches us that we all learn in different ways. We have 4 areas: visual, auditory, read-write, and kinesthetic, which is a wonderful word to pronounce. And many may use a close combination of all of these, in which case they are multimodal, while others may lean very heavily on one or the other. Certainly, no two people are motivated in exactly the same way. I believe, personally, that the greatest role of the teacher is to inspire hunger for learning in their students. But to do this, there isn't a one-size-fits-all. Therefore, we must strive to get to know our students, to learn how they learn, to find how to ignite their interest. A method that works brilliantly for one may not work for another. Now, a safe and supportive environment is very well illustrated by Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The chart suggests that if certain needs aren't met, our ability to learn is diminished. You can see within the chart there's a hierarchy of different things where we start with physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem, self-actualization. If I'd got it right, you would have been able to read all the words off there, but obviously it's off screen. There are a multitude of factors that will determine whether we're working at our best. We could be affected by a cold room. Too cold, you can't concentrate. A lack of refreshments. A lack of breakfast that morning. Oversleeping, you've had to rush, you're stressed as a result of that. But other things, your personal life, problems at home, you're being bullied, a breakup with a partner. There are so many factors. One personal example that I remember, and this is more on the esteem level, but I remember this really strongly. In my college days, we turned up for the first lesson in print production, and all eager to learn, and the teacher asked us whether we knew a certain print system, and we all shook our head. And he actually made us feel really bad for not knowing it, which we were confused about. We were confused. We've come in to learn, and now you're knocking us down for not knowing it. And he was shaking his head. He couldn't believe that we didn't know. For me personally, that was a bad start. In fact, for the whole class, because we thought we'd come here to learn. And instantly, he created a disconnection between us, and not really a hunger to learn. As we discussed earlier, it might be in certain people. We got there in the end, but we didn't appreciate it. It is for this reason that I believe that, again, we have to understand that no two people are the same, and that we, as teachers, must be approachable, we must be understanding, we have to be ready to listen, whilst instilling the hunger for learning in our students.
Inclusive learning for teachers simply means preparing lessons that take into account every student, regardless of who they are. How we practice inclusive learning ranges from being aware of our students' barriers and challenges, ensuring equal opportunity for all students, preparing, stimulating, and engaging lessons for them, encouraging active learning in the classroom and on the field for us filmmakers, using varied teaching styles, practicing a learner-centered teaching approach, and being aware of differentiation. An example of how we can practice equal opportunity in film, which is our area of specialization, is creating scenes that are not limiting and stereotypical. Characters portrayed in films should be diverse and reflective of real life scenarios and our society, where differences in age, disability, gender, marital status, religion, sexual orientation occur. Practicing inclusive learning is easy if teachers get to know and treat each student as individuals and equals. They will feel loved and have a sense of belonging. which will boost self-esteem and in turn, in the long run, affect self-actualization. Thank you.
So since 2012, it's been important that functional skills are have been passed for anyone wishing to enter higher education. A pass is seen as a grade C, and anyone that hasn't yet achieved that grade does have the option of having dedicated lessons during their higher education course. However, when we're actually studying, or when students are learning courses, or we're planning lessons, it's important that we intertwine subjects such as maths, English, and functional IT skills within our lesson plans. And you ask how we can do this. Establishing IT-based lessons, so encouraging students to use paper-based notes as well as virtual notes, OneNote, softwares are available. Submitting assignments on online portals, which is something that is quite common in the world out there at the moment, OneDrive, Dropbox, or even delving down into soft math skills, such as understanding frame rates, going through screen size ratios, or even planning to a budget. All of these are basic skills that we can intertwine within our lessons and incorporate functional skills.
Why is it important to promote appropriate behaviour and respect in the class? So let's start from the beginning here. So standing up is good for me to be a good role model to the students, to set an example for someone to look up to, treating each other with respect, how I want to be treated. If I do fail this, then the students might not engage properly. So failing to get the students socialised is going to be a problem because it's going to be disruptive. The whole group will be not engaging, they're not going to learn, I'm not going to be able to teach, and you fail. So the start here is engagement. So to get engagement, you want to set some boundaries, so you know where you stand and they know where they stand. And a good way to do this is we have a group discussion at the beginning and we all agree on the ground rules. This is a good way of making them feel included and that they're contributed and that they're actually respecting their own set of rules. This shows respect for each other and everyone is valuing each other's opinions, and it's a good icebreaker, and then no one is left out or singled out. It's good to also find a balance so that you're meeting individual needs. So this can be by being a good listener and being non-judgmental to anyone in that class. And to leave it on this, obviously it's good to do feedback, it's good to discuss everything, but always try and put positive feedback, and I would say even end with that so it's left on a high, everyone feels included and they've achieved something which motivates them to go on to come back hopefully.
My section is explain ways to engage and motivate learners. Now the way I think that we can do that, one of the main ways is by storytelling. And so I'm going to tell a story, or I'm going to read from a book, my book, and then go from there. This chapter is called Grow in the Pain. On several occasions, I have seen people who stop running after going one lap or half a lap. So my analogy, I'm taking it from running, all right? The lesson is from running, practice of running. On several occasions, I have seen people who stop running after going one lap or half a lap. It hurts, or they are tired, and so they stop running. They do not realize that if they kept running, the pain would subside. The parts of the body which hurt are proof that your body is actually stretching and working and changing to give you the results you want. It's the same in life or business or any endeavors we undertake. We must never make this mistake and stop running. It can hurt really bad, it can all look hopeless, but you have to stay in the race. There is no way of finishing or winning the race if you quit because it hurts right now. My 11-year-old daughter recently switched gymnastics clubs where she had to attend practice for 16 hours instead of the 6 hours she was accustomed to. She cried and complained that she no longer wanted to go because her body was stretched and it hurt, and she was very, very good. So my advice was, yes, it hurts, do it anyway, feel the pain, and still push through. Remember, the growth is actually in the pain. So to motivate and engage our learners, we need to support them in understanding that no matter what pace they work at, there are going to be difficulties, there are going to be challenges, but they need to move through it and go past it. And one of the best ways of doing that is to make sure that we embed that in ourselves, right? It is our practice, and we understand that. So to end, I'll say we always say to our children, and to our students, and to ourselves, keep running, don't stop, the pain always passes. Thank you.